This is Module 11, Lesson 1, Graph Rational Numbers on the Coordinate Plane. So, before in the past, you guys have only done this section of the coordinate plane. This is Quadrant 1. Over here, we have Quadrant 2, Quadrant 3, and Quadrant 4. As you notice, they are Roman numerals. And a coordinate plane is formed by the intersection of two number lines. And these are called axes. So we have the y and the x. The y goes up and down, and the x goes horizontally. The origin, which is right here where they meet, is at 0, 0. And these are all quadrants. And in a quadrant, when we list things, we use ordered pairs. That's like saying if I have a dot right here, I run to 1, I jump to 3, my ordered pair would be 1, 3, and we have done that in the past. Let's actually do something now with that. So we're on the bottom. The x coordinate and the y coordinate of an ordered pair in quadrant 1 will be both positive numbers. So anything up in here is going to be positive, positive. If I move over here to quadrant 2, you'll notice that these numbers are negative. So they'll be negative, and then we jump up, and it's positive. Down here, it's going to be negative, negative, because we run backwards, and then we fall down to negative numbers. Over here, we run forward to positive numbers, and we fall down into negative numbers. So if you see ordered pairs and one of the ordered pairs is negative, negative, you know it's in the third quadrant because the third quadrant always has negative, negative numbers. Now let's look at this first one. What are the coordinates of point A? Point A is right up here. To get there, I start at 0. I run over and I notice we're at 3. And then I jump up and I'm at 5. So we're at 3, 5 for our coordinates or our ordered pair. How can you describe the location of point A? So we move right 3 spaces and up 5 spaces. Look at quadrant 2. So here's quadrant 2 right here. Remember, this is quadrant 1. What values can the x coordinate of an ordered pair in this quadrant have? So remember, x is the first one because when we look at it, we have x, y. So the x is along this line. So if I go back to quadrant 2, instead of running forward, I'm running backwards. And you notice that there are negatives. So it is going to be a negative number. And the y coordinate, to stay up in here, we jump up. And those numbers are positive numbers. Quadrant 3, we're all the way down here. What values can the x coordinate of an ordered pair in this quadrant have? So to run backwards, we're negative. So our x coordinate is a negative number. And to stay in this one, we fall down. And so the y coordinate is also a negative number. This next one, we have quadrant 4, which is this last one. What values can the x coordinate of an ordered pair in this quadrant have? So to get to quadrant 4, we have to run forward, meaning we have positive numbers. And what values can the y coordinate have? So to go right here, we run forward and then we fall down. The numbers down here are negative, so these are negative numbers. Now, we're going to take a look to see where those dots are, and we're going to find the ordered pairs. So first, let's look at point B. Point B is right up here. So I start at 0, 0. I run backwards to negative 1, and then I jump up to 4. So we always have to go across this line first. We run and then we jump. Or fall down if we're going negative. Like in this one, C, I start at my origin, which is 0, 0. I run backwards to -2. And then I fall down to -4. Point D is right here. I start at 0, 0. I run forward to 3. And then I fall down to -3. Okay, let's take a look at this part. To make a rectangle, where should we plot point D? We're going to plot it and write the ordered pair and then draw the rectangle. And we're going to do the coordinates for all of them once we get done. So to make a rectangle, I need to have all of them and match them up. So there's my D right there. When you put your dot on a coordinate plane, make sure to label it right away so you don't have to go back and label it at the end. So let's look at point A. Point A is up here. To get our coordinates, remember we start parentheses and put a comma in between. I start at 0, 0. I run to 4. I jump to 4. And it's in quadrant 1. Point B. I start at 0, 0. I run backwards to -3. I jump up to 4. And that is quadrant 2. C is right here. I start at 0, 0. I run backwards to -3. And then I fall down to -2. And that is quadrant 3. D, I just put that one on there. I run forward to 4, and then I fall down -2. So that is quadrant 4. Last thing I need to do is draw the rectangle. Okay, for this next section, I want you to try it out before you listen to of how to do it. So before you hit the video, pause it and see what you can do, and then start it again. Okay. So let's look at this one. This one does not have whole numbers, it has decimals. And that can happen on our coordinate plane. So let's look at this first one. Coordinates for points graphed on the coordinate plane can be any rational number, including decimals. The interval for the x and y axis is what on the coordinate plane shown? So if we look at this, they have 0.2 and 0.4. In between, we'd have 0.1 and 0.3. So we're going up by 0.1 each time. We're going to graph the ordered pairs on the coordinate plane shown. So G, I start at 0, 0. It's -3, so that means I'm running backwards. Here's -3. And this is positive, so I'm going to jump up there, and then I'm going to label it. When I do this, I'm going to check it off to let myself know, hey, I'm done with that. H is positive, so I'm going to run to 0.4. And positive 0.1 is right here, and I'm going to label it H. Our last one is J. Positive 0.2, and then we're going to fall down to -0.5, which is J. In which quadrant is G located? G is right here. This is quadrant 2. Point H is right here. That's quadrant 1. And right here, this is quadrant 4. Plot a new point in quadrant 4. And write the point's coordinates. So quadrant 4 is right here. And you can plot it anywhere that you want for point K as long as it's right there. I'm just going to go right here and label it K. And then I'm going to write the coordinates, the point's coordinates. So I have K is 0.1. And then I fell down to negative 0.1. This next part is what do you remember? So I need you to try this by yourself. And then you're going to play the video again. Okay, let's see how you did. Graph each point on the coordinate plane. Our first one is K. I'm starting right here. It's negative 3, so I run backwards to negative 3. Then positive 2, I jump up, and I'm going to label it K. My next one is L. Positive 2 means I'm running forward. Positive 3 means I'm jumping up to 3. Going to label that L. M. I run forward to 1, fall down to negative 3. Label it M. Check it off. Our next one is N. Negative 3 means I'm running backwards to negative 3. Negative 1 means I'm falling down one spot. Label it N. Number 2, we're going to name the coordinates of the points. Let's find I. I is right here. So I ran backwards to negative 4. And then I fell down to negative 4. J is over here in quadrant 1. I ran forward to 4 and I jumped to 2. So 4, 2. Anything in quadrant 1 will be positive, positive. Anything down here like I in quadrant 3 will be negative, negative. Now for number 3, name the quadrant where each point on the coordinate or on the graph is located. I is right here. That's quadrant 3. K is right here. That's quadrant 2. M right here. Quadrant 4. J right here is quadrant 1. L is also in quadrant 1. And then N, quadrant 3. And that's it for lesson 1.